everyone. Here with us, and for those who could not make it, who have made the conscious decision to run for public office, a very, very noble and honorable gesture, to be sure. We are starting with the senatorial portion of our program, so we would like to call to the stage now. Please take your seats. First, Sean Gumatauta, first time candidate. Also, David Duenas running for senator. Also looking to return to her place in the forthcoming 38th Guam legislature, Vice Speaker Tina Rose Munoz. Also completing his freshman term right now, Senator Tom Fisher. Senator Will Parkinson is also joining us. As the Senators Sabina Perez and Senator Monica Matthews. I know there's a couple of you here who have done TV. All of you have been on numerous times. We thank you for your participation right now. Now, just everybody, so you're all aware this is going to be like a live TV show, so if there's any portions where we're like a little bit quiet, then it's commercial doing. So we're going to make this very, very informative for you, and hopefully give you all something to think about when you hit the polls. So thank you for your participation and your presence as well.
Take part in community. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Next mic.
Check 1, 2. Mic check on, Jason.
Check 1, 2, check 1, 2.
Take part, testing 1, 2, 3. One more like someone. Test. All right, here we go, everybody. Stand by, please. 15 seconds. Stand by.
everybody. Welcome to the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce and Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association's Decision 2024 Primary Candidates Forum. I'm Jason Salas alongside my broadcast partner.
Good day, everybody.
All right, everybody. And now the members of the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce and the GHRA are providing this platform for the candidates that are seeking your endorsement for their run for public office this fall to share their perspectives, ideas, and plans to address the important issues including Guam's economy, public health, safety, tourism, stability, and much more.
That's right, and before we start, we want to get into some ground rules. Just as a reminder, we have no noisemakers. We will shut microphones off. Should you go off, be on the allotted time, and please be aware of the timekeepers in this table right here. We also want to remind everybody here that tables are set up outside the ballroom with more information about the candidates, as well as the Guam Election Commission. So if you have any questions about getting registered, updating voter information, and more.
All right, and we are absolutely committed to promoting community awareness as well as voter education and active participation in our very beloved democratic process. We do not endorse nor support any political candidates or parties, and at KUM our goal is to empower individuals to make informed decisions and exercise all of our rights to vote. The views expressed by the individuals and candidates during this forum are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the organization. A save the date, a hard deadline was announced earlier this month, and invitations were sent to all of those seeking public office in the senatorial and congressional races, and we thank the candidates present for their participation and look forward to this opportunity to provide civic engagement as well as democracy.
Yes, and we'd like to give a special thanks to the Hyatt Regency Guam and AD Systems, the Guam Election Commission, and Docomo Pacific for their support of this community event.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Destiny and I are proud and pleased to be your MCs this afternoon, but truly the stars of the show are the ladies and gentlemen sitting behind me. So please make a holiday round of applause for the people seeking senatorial office. First is incumbent Senator Roy Canal. Also incumbent Senator Sabina Perez. Incumbent Senator Will Parkinson. Other incumbent Senator Tom Fisher. Jake Wingus, senatorial candidate. First-time candidate Sean Gumatata. And the very honorable Vice Speaker Tina Rose Munoz. All right, let's take questions.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for being here. And the format, as you're going to go, we have a variety of questions on a variety of topics that were picked by the board and the leadership of both the Women's Chamber of Commerce and the GHRA. But before that, we'd like to give each of you, and we'll go down from left to right, starting with you, Senator Canata. You each have 90 seconds to introduce yourself to the community, if you would, Senator.
Okay, thank you. I like to keep things short instead of long anyways. So, my name is Roy Canatza. I'm a freshman senator. I'm very much appreciative of the opportunity that people have given me. I'm running for senator again because I think there's a lot of things that I haven't gotten done yet, and we still need to get those things done. So I'm very humbled to be here. I'm very appreciative for each and every one of you for taking some time out of your busy schedules. It's very much appreciated, and I'm very thankful for the Guam Women's Chambers and Hyatt for hosting this event. It's very much important that we know where our candidates stand on certain issues and where we're going from there. So again, thank you so much. My name is Roy Canatza, number 3 on the Democrat side, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Student sponsor, Senator. All right, incoming Senator Sabina Perez, you have 90 seconds for your introduction.
This is Mossy. Jason, this is Mossy to the Guam Women's Chamber and the Guam Hotel Restaurant Association. My name is Sabina Perez. I'm from Maligozo, Cabeza. I was born and raised here in Guam, and I'm an incumbent senator since the 35th Guam legislature. Prior to becoming senator, I was a medical technologist, a diabetes researcher, and science teacher. I'm running for re-election because Guam is my home. My roots are here, and I'm committed and determined to leave it better than how my parents and grandparents had left it. I feel this deep responsibility to our island and our SINA. Since day one, my platform has been sustainability, which means responding to the challenges of today. In recent history, it was a pandemic and then malware. It is my belief that we have not fully recovered, and I'm committed to doing the work to continue to diversify our economy through education, increasing affordable housing, food security, and increasing effective government to support our community needs. You can trust that I will continue to work hard using my diverse expertise as a scientist and educator to develop long-term solutions and protect the public trust. I'm number 2, and I'm a Democrat ticket. I'll be asked for your vote. This is awesome.
Thank you, Senator. And Senator Will Parkinson seeking re-election to return to the legislature. You have 90 seconds, sir.
Good day, everyone. My name is Senator Will Parkinson. I am number 1 on the Democratic side of the ballot. I am running for re-election as your senator because I've always believed that regardless of what work we do, the important thing is Guam always advances. And you know, in my first term, I've seen how much work we were able to do and how much work that still needs to be done. And I continue to push advancement of Guam and all things, whether it be in healthcare, economics, technology. We need to push Guam to continue to advance. And I hope that the people of Guam will give me an opportunity to continue advancing Guam forward. And I hope that my record of work shows that the people of Guam did not waste a vote on me, and that it was a vote well spent, and that's a vote that they need to spend again on number 1 for senator. So please, I hope everyone can please spare me one of their votes, and thank you for having this lovely forum for us to share our ideas with you.
Thank you, Senator. Now, within 90 seconds is incumbent Senator Tom Fisher. Good afternoon, Senator.
May I stand?
Sir, certainly.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom Fisher, and I'm running for my second term in the Guam legislature. I'm asking for your vote, but if I'm going to ask for your vote, you have a right to know why I'm asking for the vote and what I hope to accomplish in the second term. When I ran for in the first term, I didn't realize or I didn't think that time and events were going to push me the way they have. I didn't anticipate the full impact, for example, of the Dobbs decision. So what I hope to accomplish in the 38th Guam legislature is to ensure and codify Roe v. Wade. I want to ensure women's reproductive health freedom. I think that is one of the primary issues facing us, and that is because of Dobbs and the dissent and the concurrence in Dobbs. I think that many of our fundamental rights are in danger. So what I want to do is codify it here on Guam so the legislature won't screw with these important fundamental rights. I'm also, what I'd like to accomplish in a second term is I'd like to see mandatory HPV vaccinations for 7th graders in our school system. HPV, as you know, leads to cervical cancer, leads to anal cancer, penile cancer, etc. later in life, and if there's a vaccine for it. If we can get these kids...
I'm sorry, Senator, that's your time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I beg your pardon.
Thank you very much.
With his 90 seconds is Dave Duenas. Good afternoon, Dave.
How are you doing? Where's the camera? Okay. All right. Today I'm Dave Duenas, and number 9 on the Democratic side of the ballot. I'm no stranger to running. Matter of fact, I'm looking for my pretty steak knives. I get that joke all the time, but we have a good slate of candidates this time around, and I'm looking forward to making it in this time around to work with the other 14 senators to better Guam the best we can. We have a lot of issues that we have to address, and you know them all. I'm not making it up. Healthcare, crime, of course, and crime, speaking of, has been making the news big time. Really disturbing that I find that we're not safe. We're not safe in Guam right now, and hopefully we can do something to curb that. And by introducing some stiffer penalties for these would-be criminals. And before I end, with 30 seconds left, son of Guam, been here for quite a few times, a long time. I'm on mestizo, by the way, on the half tomorrow. My mother is Spanish, and I'm just proud to be here tomorrow, proud to be a part of the community, and looking forward to you considering one of your votes for Dave Duenas, number 9. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dave. Sean Gonzalez is seeking election, and Sean, you have 90 seconds, please.
Well, first off, I want to thank the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce. I'm also the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association. I was doing some math before I came here, and what I'm bringing to this race is 13 years of my broadcast experience,
to this job. I'm bringing my 10 years of government experience, senior level, working at the Office of the Governor, the privilege to work for former Governor Felix Camacho, and working at the judiciary as a director of policy and planning and community relations. But then also, and proudly, as a small business owner, where I spent the last 12 years, making it 13 pretty soon. And I'm bringing all those experiences to this role. And I'm pro-family. I absolutely want to make sure that all of our people are taken care of, and to help create common sense legislation that doesn't just target one group of people, but the entirety of the community of Guam. And again, I thank you in advance for your vote, and I'm very excited to be with you all and share my ideas if you elect me as a senator in the Guam legislature. Thank you so much.
Well done. And Madam Vice, you've done this a few times, but you have 90 seconds to appeal to the community.
Thank you for this blessing to be here today. Yes, Tina Rose Munoz Barnes from Manila and Chalampago. I've been your public servant for nearly 2 decades, and I want to continue to serve. I want to share our work to expand the circle of opportunities for the indigent community, students, and small business owners. I have offered initiatives to create new industries from bed and breakfast, recycling, and transshipment. I hope to continue this path of leveraging partnerships to develop strong policies for our island to continue to grow. I've had the blessing from my family, my late husband, to continue to be your public servant. That's really important. And I am a great facilitator. And I create new industries, and I just want to give from my heart. Undakal and Sizos Masi for having me, to the Women's Chamber and to Hyatt. Undakal and Sizos Masi for having this event this afternoon to share to the people of Guam. Sanamasi.
Thank you, Madam Vice Speaker, and thank you, everyone. And thank you for watching right now. Please stay tuned, because when we come back from this very quick commercial break, we will pepper these senatorial candidates with questions facing the issues that you want the answers to. Please stay tuned. The second question having to do with health, we're going to go from, left to right for the first one, then right to left on the second. So in fantasy football, we call it the snake draft. There we go. Okay, so first one is going to be about the economy and economic diversity. Destiny's going to ask that one. And then for the second, it's going to be starting from Madam Vice Speaker and coming down to Senator Canazza about the healthcare. 60 seconds for response. You guys are a good audience. All right, here we go. Afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce and Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association's Decision 2024 primary candidates forum. I'm Jason Salas alongside my broadcast partner, Destiny Cruz. And now, Destiny, we have our first round of questions for the candidates.
That we do. And candidates, just a reminder, you have 60 seconds to respond. So starting with your first question on economy and economic diversity, we'll begin with Senator Roy Canata. Senator, the rising cost of living and doing business on Guam is a challenge for our entire community. What do you feel is the most pressing economic issue, and how will you address this in the 38th Guam legislation?
Thank you for that question, Destiny. Certainly, I believe the housing crisis is one of the biggest issues we continue to face. I think creating more affordable housing units and trying to pass legislation to provide more affordable housing units for the general people, also those who are not also low income, but probably in the mid range, that are always in the gap. We seem to always focus on the indigent population, and we forget about those who are in the median, the middle gap area. So I want to create legislation in that specific area, and then I think raising the quality of life, we're still having some economic issues out there, certainly, that we need to try to work with, again, with the business community and see what the government can do to help push forward the economy, because it's a bipartisan relationship with the government and the business community, and the only way to move us forward is to actually work together collaboratively to find solutions. Some of it probably could also be the, thank you so much for that question.
All right, Senator Sabina Perez, would you like me to So the rising cost of living and doing business on Guam is a challenge for our entire community. What do you feel is the most pressing economic issue, and how will you address this in the 38th Guam legislation?
Thank you, Destiny. I think, it's a multi-pronged approach. It needs to be a multi-pronged approach. And one of the things my colleagues have been working on is the Jones Act. And I think in collaboration with the CNMI, we have potential to really address this issue. As you know, CNMI is exempt from the Jones Act. And so if there's any way we can partner to lower the cost of goods coming to Guam. The other thing that we need to do is to lower other expenses of living. So whether it be healthcare, whether it be housing, transportation. And so I have passed bills, I introduced also a bill to fund Guam Housing Corporation to allow for more funding to go towards people who are at risk of losing their housing. And so let's get more subsidies also to businesses, as well as reducing the cost of these goods. So those are some of the ideas that I've had. Thanks.
Thank you, Senator. All right, Senator Will Parkinson.
So when I think about the economy and what we need to do going forward, for me, it's a return to the basics. We need to get our utilities up to date and modernized. So much of our cost of living crisis is based on sky-high utility costs. And so as a senator, I like to, when I first ran, I promised that I would find ways to put money in people's pockets to help with the high cost of living. And I've achieved that with crop loss insurance for farmers, with the expansion of SNAP to more eligible people, as well as the power credits. And if I had my way, I would continue the power credits until the new power plant is built, just so that we could have that savings, and then when the power plant is built, that money is freed up to reinvest in our communities for things like unemployment insurance or universal health care, just these basic safety nets, so that when people are laid off during non-busy seasons in tourism, we are able to keep them on employment rolls in some capacity, keep them fed, keep them housed.
That's your time.
And thank you very much for the question.
Senator Competition.
One more time, sorry.
So the rising cost of living and doing business on Guam is a challenge for our entire community. What do you feel is the most pressing economic issue, and how will you address this in the 38th Guam legislation?
Thank you very much. When the island started to come out of the COVID crisis, all of us saw on many of the different storefronts help wanted. You go to almost any retail establishment, they're looking for cashiers, they're looking for anybody to work there. Initially, I thought that, wow, this is a good sign. Maybe Guam's economy is starting to crank. I'm not so sure. I'm worried that is actually a leading indicator that people are leaving the island. That is an absolute emergency. How do we do we keep these young, talented people from migrating off island where they can start a family? That, if we don't arrest that problem, I think that we are in for the worst economic times imaginable as the non-military population decreases. How do we keep people here? We have to offer them jobs so, Roy, they can afford houses. I agree with you 100%. If you can't afford a house, you're going to leave. Capital improvement projects are one way we do it. We're going to build a hospital in Manila. We're going to get San Sanchez built. We're going to create the jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. First and foremost, this is Marina. Okay, first and foremost, reduce the EBT, business purpose tax. It has been said for many years it would be temporary, it's still here, 5%. Reduce the EBT would allow for private businesses to hopefully give a better wage to their employees, which translates to most of the people being able to spend more, and translates again to taxes being received to the general fund. So BBT must be reduced right off the bat. It's got to be reduced. It has not, the legislature, the BBMR budget people have said every time during the legislative sessions, there's a surplus every single quarter. A surplus. Thank you.
We have not inherited a very easy world and easy island right now. I will stand up and say we do have to roll back the GRT. The 75,000 employees of the 400 businesses on Guam can be better helped. I think they've been kind of forgotten in all of this. We've looked at programs that are tailored to certain industries, but by rolling back the GRT allows that investment back into people, back into their fleets, back into their facilities, and then to take it a step further is when that rollback happens, on top of other policies that are facing our community today. We know that the earned income tax credit, thanks in large part to Congressman St. Nicholas, was able to add more money to the coffers. And then in this last fiscal year, our current congressman was able to add more in billions in defense authorization appropriations. Thank you.
Thank you, Destiny. You know, here we've been supporting the lowering of the BBT. Those making 500,000 or less have a reduced BBT to 3%. I want to share with you, it's about creating jobs, new industries, like the cruise industry. I've created 6 new industries on Guam, none of them implemented yet. I hope to push on that. Also, Transshipment Task Force, I want to share with you that they did a study. We received over 300,000. The report is done. We hope to have a synopsis or reporting by the first week of June. So it is about creating those jobs and having our people stay here. San Ros.
All right, welcome everybody on the topic of the economy and economic diversity. Now it's my turn, and we'll go in the reverse order. So right to left, that's that direction, right to left on your TV screen. And I will pose these questions starting with Vice Speaker Tina Barnes on the topic of health. Access to affordable health care is a huge challenge for a large cross-section of our population, from small business owners to nonprofits and all of their employees. What can you do as legislator to improve access to affordable health care for those that do not qualify for Medicaid or employer-subsidized health plans? And Madam Vice, you have 60 seconds.
Thank you, Jason. I do have a bill with 267 that's in the committee right now that will literally work with CMS regarding Medicaid and Medicare. But as you know, GMH is tempered. They cannot refuse any patient. I want to say prioritizing urgent care like we did in the past. Billing is really important, creating a functional business model to work with patients who cannot pay. Working with programs to bring expertise to Guam, like WICHI, the Professional Student Exchange Program, and then also finish the labor and delivery room that we in the past legislatures have given millions of dollars to fix should be a cash cow for GMH. We need to bring resources to our hospital and then work closely with our clinics and urgent care to come back at a full 24/7 so it can operate for patients. Silence.
All right. Same question, same topic, Sean, we talked about for 60 seconds, improving access to healthcare for those for whom it is a challenge.
I think we have a facility in Manila, the current or the former public health facility. We need to utilize all of our northern, central, and southern public health clinics and adding more services to them so that our people can get to them. GMH cannot be the one place where they get urgent care and their primary care. We need to expand it to the central. It's a historic building. Why can't we put money into that 50-year-old building that can get funded with other resources? But we have to put money into the three public health clinics and then encourage our community to use them when they need it most.
Dave Duenas, you have 60 seconds for your thoughts on improving access to healthcare, if you would, sir.
Thank you, Sean. For me, it diverts right back to the BBT. Lower the BBT, as the former speaker had mentioned, it is 3% for the 500 and below. Make it across the board. Across the board, regardless. Lower the BBT, it will allow the private sector to possibly fund and support healthcare and insurance. So that would be what I would do immediately. Again, the government would argue we're going to lose revenue if we lower the BBT. You do more with less. Period. You know, you don't get enough money, just use it wisely, spend it wisely. That's all it takes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. All right, Senator Fisher, you were furiously scribbling notes there. 60 seconds to you, sir, for improving access to healthcare, if you would.
Is it working?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to respond to that question. I think that I'd be remiss if I didn't point out to everyone that Guam has the highest maternal mortality rate in the country. I would be remiss if I didn't point out to everyone that Guam has among the highest infant mortality rates in the country. This is an underserved population. Many people, the first time they ever see a doctor is when they come into the emergency room to give birth. There are programs here on the island for outreach to these underserved, isolated communities. For example, Toby Guam Foundation, working in those, and you know, we're not going to shut it all off on the private sector, the government as well. We need to reach out to these communities because every time you address a problem like this, you are also addressing a problem that is going to occur in the future. So I'm running out of time, but remember that maternal mortality and infant mortality, we're number one.
Thank you, Senator. All right, let's go to Senator Will Parkinson for, this is something that you and your colleagues in the legislature have talked about at length, but 60 seconds to you about improving access to healthcare.
Well, when I think about GMH, one of the big problems is they have problems with payers. You know, they have these uninsured people not paying their bills, and it forces GMH to come to the legislature every once in a while and say, hey, we're short $80 million, please send us more money. And so I look at this problem and I see that there's a win-win possibility there. Instead of just paying this money so we can pay out vendors, we need to look at the self-insurance model that we recently switched to and look at that as a footprint for how to do universal health care. Because then we can still take that $80 million, get a whole bunch of people insured, and then with that insurance money, with that money, get GMH paid. And so I see this as a possibility of using universal health care to not only take care of our people, but to keep GMH solvent. And so that's the what of what we need to do to get things rolling. And the how is we just need to have a big pile of money to start this program up.
All right, Senator, speaking of fairness, people certainly in our community looking for solutions. What thoughts have you on this topic?
So I've been looking at this, and I think there's no one panacea. And so it's really about improving what we have right now. So I reiterate the points of my speaker that there is a bill that we can expand Medicaid enrollment. And I think this is really critical because a lot of our citizens are going to hospitals not having access, and they have to pay up front. And that's a huge, huge burden. And so I think we can do more in maximizing Medicaid enrollment. The other thing I'm thinking of is, with the intermediaries such as the Guam Hotel Restaurant Association, and GFT, so joining membership, increasing the membership so they can have access to lower cost insurance plans. The other thing, was mentioned is, we have to definitely collaborate more with other governments like the FSM, the potential to, they could possibly fund, healthcare for their citizens. And I think that's something we can look at. Also the veterans. We need to have representatives here that can really.
That's your time, Senator. I apologize. Thank you for your thoughts. All right, and now to your colleague, Senator Rogan.
Thank you, Jason. Certainly, I think with the surpluses that we have in our coffers, I think we can use some of that funding and revenues and redirect it to GMH and also into the education, the higher education, so we can encourage our people, our next generation of healthcare workers to come back and actually help the community directly. We have a lot of boot camps with the Guam Community College that have served really well in the business community, and I think we can just afford those opportunities to the next generation, and then we can push forward to solving our healthcare issues. And also some more investments in the CIPs of our hospitals, and where we can also make our medical facilities available to the abroad. Thank you again, Jason.
All right, well done, Senator. Well done, everyone. Thank you for your thoughts. Hopefully that met your satisfaction. Voters gave you something to think about. Now, Destiny, we have something fun, because at the beginning, before we started today's panel, all of these senatorial candidates had to pick out of random, out of this wonderfully scientific fishbowl of a jar. They picked wild card questions. And please raise your hand when your wild card question is raised. And Destiny has wild card question number 1.
All right, the wild card question number 1. Please raise your hand, candidate. All right, so this is your wild card question. In what ways do you envision leveraging local resources and partnerships to bolster the economic resilience of Guam small businesses, especially in the face of challenges such as economic downturns or changing market conditions?
I think we should invest our money in the Guam Agricultural Master Plan. By putting money into that particular plan, we can actually help our efforts to ensure that our food safety and food security is stabilized. I think that most of us in here, if you haven't had a chance to check out their plan, they're looking at it from farm all the way out to this ballroom in this case. But the master plan itself is a roadmap, and it's not just agriculture, it's aquaculture, and we need to invest in that particular plan. And I think for all of us who are small businesses in this room, we all can benefit too.
Thank you, Senatorial Candidate Matata.
All right, for wild card question number 2, if you would raise your hand, Madam Vice Speaker, your question, ma'am. What initiatives or policies do you propose to encourage entrepreneurship and innovation among local businesses, and how do you plan to ensure that these efforts are inclusive and supportive of all members of our very diverse business community? You have 60 seconds.
Thank you, Jason. Again, like I said earlier, 6-7 different industries still not implemented. It's about creating new industries, supporting green jobs like Guam Sustainable Growth. Shout out to Michelle Crisosimo, the cruise industry, the film office, the bed and breakfast, the medicinal cannabis, transshipment, automation, home cottage, the Public Policy Institute, the Professional Student Exchange Program, the Beverage Container Act, the list goes on. We need to implement, and I will continue to want to serve you, to see all these industries implemented so that we have jobs for everyone. Saludos.
Thank you very much.
Wild card number 3, please. All right, Senator Tom Fisher, this is your wild card question. How do you plan to address the current challenges in our local healthcare delivery system and improve access to quality care for all residents? What specific measures or reforms do you believe are necessary to enhance health outcomes in our community?
Thank you very much. This projects a little bit out into the future. I support very much the construction of a new hospital in Manila. I support that for 2 reasons. One, it's going to be a hospital for our children and our grandchildren. And number 2, it's going to inject quite a bit of money into a village that has been underserved. I'm against the Tamuning location for a number of reasons. One is Tamuning is an economically mature village. We need the opportunity to do this. Going forward,
right, Senator, your question, you have 60 seconds. How do you propose to address the issue of crime in our community and enhance public safety measures to make our neighborhoods and businesses safer? And can you please name at least one specific strategy or program you believe will be most effective in reducing crime rates, drug trafficking, and sexual violence?
I believe the Neighborhood Watch program has been working very well in our communities, but I also think we need to invest more into our mobile task forces out there, because honestly, being out there in the community protects the community, right? Being visible, seeing is believing, and a lot of times we have a lot of people out there that probably just need to be educated on the laws that we have, right? But we also have to be a very proactive community as well, where addressing the problems head on is seeing something and saying something about it, and addressing the situation at the legal side, right? Is we have 3 branches of government, so we need to work all together to find solutions to our continuous problem out there. But again, educating, and it all starts at home. A lot of our community members, we are really trying hard. Legislators, the governor, we really can try hard. We can create as many laws out there, but it comes down to the upbringing of the homes.
I'm sorry, Senator, that's your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, wild card at number 5, I believe it's Senator Will Parkinson. All right, so here's your question. What is your vision for the future of our tourism on our island, and what can you do as a legislator to help our government align with that vision?
When I think about the future of tourism, I have to think about our recent past and how sometimes when the world rumbles with instability, we need to make sure that our cornerstone economic pieces are stable. And so for me, that comes down to one word: sustainability, economic sustainability. Because if we have wars, if we have diseases, what have you going on in the rest of the world, we need to make sure that our tourism industry does not collapse because of that. And the way we ensure that is by understanding our value proposition and by making sure that we have aggressively courted cheap flights to Guam, because that's where it starts. Can people afford to come to Guam? We got to keep these routes open. We got to make Guam affordable for tourists to come here, so that way we can take advantage of the regional tourism and not be bound to the vicissitudes of the world's instability.
Thank you, Senator.
All right, wildcard question number 6, and Senator Perez already holding on to the mic, so I know this one's yours. Senator, what specific legislative measures or policies, and you proposed many in your career, do you propose to increase affordable housing options to address the rising cost of home ownership on the island?
Yes, thank you for that question. It's something I'm working on right now, so I would like to provide incentives for retrofitting abandoned buildings or commercial buildings that are not utilized into affordable units. And I think this is happening in the States, considering also we have a shortage of labor pool and resources. Why not retrofit these buildings that are already existing, that have sewer, have utilities, that can lower the cost of building and increase the amount of affordable units. And I've been told we have a potential of 800 to 1,000 units that we can build with some of the commercial properties that we have. And I think this is important. In addition to providing funding to the Guam Housing Corporation so that they can keep people housed. So some of the problems with our families is that they are, they have some financial burdens, and rather than seeing them homeless, let's provide them some support to keep them housed. Thank you.
Well done.
And the very last wild card question we have for senatorial candidate Dave Duenas. Your question is, what infrastructure investments do you believe are most crucial for supporting local businesses and mitigating rising costs? And how do you plan to prioritize these investments if elected?
Okay, the infrastructure, you're all aware, the roads. The roads in Guam are terrible, absolutely terrible. The roads need to be fixed, the infrastructure of the roads needs to be addressed. And how does that translate? It can translate to that more businesses, or people don't have to spend to repair their vehicles anymore. They can use it to fix the roads. I've often said, for those of you that don't know, I used to do a talk show, and it seems that our government, per se, must be driving in a different road because the roads I drive in are littered with potholes. I used to say, plant a tree in the potholes. Maybe that would send the right message. Thank you.
All right, well done once again. Okay, it's time for our lightning round questions. These questions were curated once again by the members of the Women's Chamber of Commerce and the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association. We're going to go once again, starting with Senator Kanata down to the Vice Speaker and then back. And these questions, ladies and gentlemen, are simply yes or no. Oh, we have the panels. So these are visual answers. There we go. This is going to be fun. Yeah. They also make really, really good fans. Okay. And I asked, do any of the candidates play pickleball? That works too. Okay, so I will ask the first round of questions. Destiny, if I may, I'll do the first one. All right, and we'll start with Senator Kanata, make our way down to the Vice Speaker. First question, lightning round. Simply yes or no. Our tourism arrivals are still significantly behind the levels that they were in 2019 due to foreign exchange rates, increased competition, and other factors. Would you support additional funding for GVB for a collaborative incentive program that includes airlines, hotels, restaurants, retail, transportation, and optional tours? Yes, for the Senator. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. There you go.
All right, lightning round question number 2. Do you support policies that protect and uphold women's reproductive health rights, including access to comprehensive reproductive health care services, contraception, and safe and legal abortion?
There you go. All right, our third lightning round question. Do you believe that a new public hospital is necessary to improve healthcare access for residents in Guam and the region?
Have you been an advocate for resources to address maintenance and repair needs of our local parks, public schools, and beaches?
All right. Fourth lightning round question. Do you support the supporters of Guam to be able to decide on our political status?
Fifth question, do you believe chemical castration is a solution to sexual violence in our community?
All right, sixth question. Do you support increasing salaries for members of the Guam legislature?
And very last question for you all up here. Have you been an advocate for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals?
All right, well done, everyone. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please give them a round of applause for Senator Tom Fisher, Dave Duenas, Sean Huitata, and the Vice Speaker of the Guam Legislature, Tina Rose Munoz Barnes. All right, well done. Please stay tuned, everybody, because when we come back from this commercial break, oh, closing statement, that's right, closing statement. How can I forget? You guys have closing statements. We want to give you guys the opportunity to tell everybody once more why they should consider you to run for public office, and you have 60 seconds.
Thank you, Jason. I'm just gonna stand up for this real quick so I can show Kasuba. This is the Women's Chamber, so we love fashion, right? And the future is Pamalawan? Viva Pamalawan! So I'm just again thankful for each and every one of you for showing up, taking time out of your busy schedules. I'm very much appreciative of it. I'm very appreciative for the opportunity to be a senator, the youngest elected senator in this time. And I love all my colleagues, but you know we need a younger generation to be continuously represented, and we will continue to do the good work of the people collaboratively, regardless of age. But you know, I'm the youngest one, so we gotta keep me in office so I can make sure they're in check too. Okay? But again, thank you guys so much for having me. I really much appreciate this opportunity, and I like to keep things short and simple because we got other things to do and we gotta get back to work, right? So thank you again. God bless you. Take care and be safe. And remember to vote and bring someone else to vote and register someone else to vote. It's not hard, okay? But make sure to vote.
just Stacy, and you're a little on the introvert side. So anyway, I just want to thank all of you for being here and for asking these questions. I just want to say that the reason why I'm running for office is because, you know, I'm rooted to this community and I want to see it better off. I'm committed to improving our economy. I know we need to rebuild tourism. That's really critical. In addition to diversify our economy, and one of the visions that I have is through education, and I have initiatives that I'm working on. You know, imagine, you know, graduating high school students are qualified candidates for jobs. Imagine that. And I think we can do it. In addition to, I think the game changer would be promoting early child literacy. You know, we know that we pour 20% of our budget into education, but I would like to see the return on investment. And I think that the earlier we start, the better off our island will be. So I hope you can support me. I'm number 2, Sister Mossy.
Good day, everyone. I'd like to humbly ask for everyone's vote for number 1, Will Parkinson, in the next election. And I think I deserve your vote because I am a competitor that will make sure Guam always advances towards the future. I've had the words in my soul burned in. I want to be the very best like no one ever was, and I want that for Guam as well. I want to bring us into the future, and I want Guam to be respected on the world stage and to be cherished by America and not forgotten. And if you elect me as your senator, I will continue to fight for those things, and I will win. Thank you.
Hi, thank you very much. When I came here this afternoon, I wanted to speak to you about 2 things, and I'm hoping that you will vote for me in the 38th Guam legislature. Economy and health. We've heard a lot about it so far. The economy, I sense, and I think most of you all do, that the population is in decline. A population in decline is not a healthy population. We need to get people to stay on Guam. Education is the way to do it, but also we have to, because it's an economic issue, we have very few tools. One of them we do have is the investment in capital improvement projects. We need to build a hospital, we need to build it in Manila, we need to build San Sanchez, we need to get that thing going. Those are millions of dollars that get pumped into the economy, so that's economically. Health-wise, I want to, and this, I know it's not popular, but I want to keep flavored tobacco products out of children's lungs. I don't want to get them addicted to a poisonous, deadly substance. So that's the big bill that we're working on. Time, women's reproductive health care. Thank you.
Thank you once again for allowing us to be here with you. For those of you present, hi, how you doing? If you already forgot, I'm Dave Dwaynes, and I never say to anyone during the campaign to vote for me. I do, however, say, I hope you would consider me. Please consider me as one of your votes. I would encourage you wholeheartedly to know each and every candidate. The days of past, you would vote for your power, your friend, who your mom and dad told you to. It's 2024. It's time we know each and every candidate, know what they've done in the community, past and present, then make a decision. Again, consider me number 9, Dave Dwaynes. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank everyone for being here, and if there's not enough time to go through all the priorities today, I have a website, ShawnMatata.com, that 5 minutes wasn't going to possibly look at all the issues. Priorities of economic development, elderly services, and reducing crime. But also, on the website has a couple of different things outside of the socials, 60 episodes of my podcast, that's it, that's all, that can help you understand more about what I'm all about. And I hope you'll listen, and I hope you'll consider me in the election coming up. And thanks again to all of you for being here, and everyone that's watching on KYM. Thank you again.
Dr. Joseph Mossy for giving me the opportunity to speak before you today. Health, education, safety, economy are all the critical issues that will always be on the table. I'm Tina Rosemary Barnes, number 10 on the ballot. I'm a great facilitator. I believe in public-private partnerships. I believe in educating our students and giving them the resources so they can come and serve our community. I want to continue to serve with the blessings of my family. Each and every one of you have a powerful gift and that powerful gift is your gift of vote. please come out on the primary and the general election to vote for your favorite candidate. I hope you consider me for one of your votes. I'm number 10 on the Democratic side of the ballot. Si Diyos masi, si Diyos umilidisi, ang tutos, zinsabi masi.
Thank you once again. Thank you to our esteemed members of our community seeking your endorsement for your vote as they run for public office. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off when you had your house. It's been about 2 years since I've done like one of these political forums, so. But thank you for watching. Please stay tuned, everybody, because when we come back this time, we have the congressional candidates who want to represent us in Washington, D.C. That is coming up right after this break. Please stay with us. Well done, everybody. Afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce and Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association's Decision 2024 Primary Candidates Forum. Certainly a mouthful, but so are the key topics that we have been discussing with you today. You previously heard from several of the Guam residents who are seeking your endorsement for your vote this fall for Senator. We have here now some of the candidates for Congressional Delegate. First off, Ginger Cruz. How are you, Ginger? All right. Also, we have Senator Amanda Shelton. How are you? And then looking to possibly reclaim his seat in Washington, D.C., Mike Nicholas. Now, just for your edification, a save the date was announced earlier this month, and invitations were sent to all the congressional candidates, and we thank the participants for giving us some of their time, and we look forward once again to bringing this opportunity for civic engagement and democracy. And at this time, we would like to give each of our participants 90 seconds to make your appeal and possibly an introduction to the community about why you are running as our congressional delegate. And we'd like to start with Ginger Cruz.
Thank you very much. So I'm Ginger Cruz, and I am here because we are at a defining moment in Guam's history. We have never faced more threat nor more opportunity in our entire history. And we have to think about that, because what we need to do on this island, we have to rise up to that moment. So we have to have somebody who goes to Washington who has both the experience and the confidence to both protect the people of Guam from those threats and to leverage this moment to ensure that we benefit not just from military buildup, but that we also benefit from the economic buildup. Since 2019, we haven't had any major new visions or major new ideas. And we have this opportunity, which we need to leverage, which could take care of so many of the issues that the senatorial candidates were talking about. If we can increase our bridge to Asia as an economic part of the strategy that the United States has, and not just be a military buildup center, we can do so much more in healthcare, in education, in so many areas for the people of Guam. I moved back to Guam in 2019. I love this island. I have the experience, I have the confidence, I know how the federal government works, the Congress, the Senate, the House, and the executive branch. And I want to put all of that to work for the people of Guam. I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Ginger. Very well done. We'd like now to give 9 seconds to Senator Amanda Shelton.
Thank you very much to the Guam Women's Chamber and to the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association for having us here today. For the last 3 terms in the Guam legislature and now as a congressional candidate, I've really enjoyed your support, appreciated your trust in me, and I know that's in large part because of the many personal relationships I've built working alongside you here in these organizations. And so I'm thankful for the opportunity today to present myself as a congressional candidate. As I've been going out, I hear the biggest issues are good paying jobs and the cost of living on island, by far the most concerning things to the people that I've been talking to. And I think we have a once in a lifetime opportunity here with the military buildup to leverage strategically what we can do as an island to represent ourselves, put our best foot forward to ensure that the people of Guam earn their due from the federal government for what we have to offer. And so I'm ready to represent the people of Guam at this new level of the congressional seat, and I humbly ask for your vote this election. Suzuis Masi.
Well done. Mike Nicholas, your thoughts and your perspective on possibly returning to the nation's capital.
Well, thank you, Jason, and good afternoon, everybody. Buenas tardes, todos Sanzu, it's just an honor to be before you all here today. I want to thank our gracious host, the High Regency, and all the staff for all their excellent work today. Our event organizers, the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce, the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association, and KUAM for all the work they put into bringing us all up here before all of you. To the viewing audience at home who are watching us on YouTube or television, and to the audience present here today, thank you so much for being here. It's so important for us to be able to come up here and share our views with you so our people can make informed decisions in this election. And I thank the organizers for their logistics and accommodations and having us present before you today. I've been your public servant for 10 years. I was honored to be your senator for 6 years and your congressman for And together we took on so many challenges. We've had a lot of successes. We faced so many struggles. But in doing that all together, one of the things that I take great pride in is the fact that the hallmark of our public service has been every time we campaign on something, every time we talk about something with you, we work very hard to deliver on it. And we have a very solid track record of delivering outcomes for our people. And so as you listen to us here today, discuss the economy, discuss healthcare, discuss the challenges our community is facing today, you can trust that the solutions that we present to you and the ideas and topics that we share with you are going to be things that we're going to work on and work very, very hard to deliver for you. So thank you all very much for being here with us today. We look forward to the rest of the conversation. Thank you.
Okay, now let's go ahead and begin our questions, and we have 60 seconds for each of you. And as we went from left to right, we'd like to start with Mike and Nicholas. The first topic for each of you has to do with economy and economic diversity, just like we did with our senatorial candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, your question is, starting with Mike and Nicholas once again, how do you plan to leverage federal resources and programs to promote economic sustainability and growth in our district, particularly in supporting local businesses and industries? And can you provide specific examples of federal initiatives or funding opportunities you intend to pursue to bolster the economy like you're on now?
Well, the challenges our community is facing in economic development are actually challenges that our people are facing at home as well. You know, the cost of living and the price of goods and the cost of utilities and all these other extraneous costs, these are things that our businesses are bearing as well. And so for us to be able to tackle this fundamental issue, the cost of living, is actually very much help our business community to be able to remain resilient. And so we want to focus on bringing solutions on those areas, addressing the cost of shipping and coming up with creative solutions. The Jones Act is something we definitely need to do. Bringing down the cost of housing and the cost of rents and making sure everything is more affordable on a utility basis is something we need to do. Being able to create creative solutions for liquid fuel and for vehicle transportation. Those are all areas we need to work on. There's a lot of federal resources to make that happen, and we want to be able to be a part of that solution.
All right, well done. Senator Shelton, your thoughts, and you have 60 seconds to give your perspective on federal initiatives to improve the local economy.
Thanks, Jay. I know that many people in this room running your businesses, managing your business, you've been worried about these jobs and providing for your employees and for their families as well. And so there are different opportunities in the federal government for us to bring home those federal resources. One of them that I think we can really knock down the door of is the Pentagon's Research and Development Arm, which has millions of dollars in its budget to use and test new innovative things in our different communities. And so recently in Rhode Island, there was a contract given to test sea gliders. Imagine if that was here on Guam, for us to use that kind of technology between our small islands to support Joint Region Marianas and the new task force. This is an opportunity for us to look at even beyond all of this new technology.
Thank you very much. And now, Juju Cruz, your thoughts on some of the programs that you may be able to give rise to improve the economy?
Thank you, Jason. Well, I actually want to think a little bit bigger. I think, and I wrote an article about this in the Guam Post on Monday, that we need to look at putting Guam on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Because you know what's happening? We are the center of the military strategy, but we're not currently the center of the economic strategy. The United States is investing massive amounts of money to build the economies of Manila, of Korea, of Japan, and they're passing over Guam. What we need to do is have a seat at the table, have a credible voice, somebody who is confident enough to be able to bring our issues to that level and make sure that the economic buildup that's happening throughout the Asia Pacific also happens here on Guam. We need to think bigger. We need to be agents for our own change. We need to understand how can we get the Small Business Administration to include in all of the contracts that are on Guam opportunities for Guam's small businesses. There are a lot of things that we can do, but we have to aim higher and we have to do more for the people of Guam and not just keep on doing the things that we've always been doing. Thank you.
Well done.
All right, the next question is centered on public safety, and we'll start with Ginger. How do you propose to address the issue of crime in our community and use federal resources to make our neighborhoods and businesses safer? What specific strategies or programs do you believe will be most effective in reducing crime rates, drug trafficking, and sexual violence to improve the overall well-being of residents?
Hard to do in 60 seconds, but let's put it this way. The Department of Defense has just identified that Communist China is actually behind so much of the drugs that are proliferating across the United States and here on Guam. The threat of crystal methamphetamine that has come into this island that is driving so much of the crime can now be directly tied to the geopolitical issues that we have. What we need to do is we need to work with like-minded states, like-minded territories. We need to ensure that in the next 5 years, we have a 100% check on everything that comes in through air or through sea, so that we can find and interdict and stop the drugs from coming to our shores. And then once we stop the drugs from coming in, then we need to bolster with federal programs the treatment and the rehabilitation of the people on Guam. But we need to think big. We need to aim higher. We need to do more because you know what? It is a crisis. This is not the Guam that I remember. This has to be a safe place for all of us. A safe place not only for the people who live on Guam, but for all of the people who want to come back home, who want to make this place their paradise. Thank you.
All right, Senator Johnson.
Thank you very much, Destiny. We all know that crime is related to drug use here, and the Department of Justice has told us that these drugs, crystal methamphetamine, is coming to our borders through Japan, through Korea, through China most especially, and we need to protect our borders first and foremost, and we can also do that by getting a special designation as a high-intensity drug trafficking area for the island of Guam. This means more federal resources put to our local law enforcement, enhancing our intelligence capability, co-locating federal and local law enforcement agencies, and working together with them with bolstered federal resources to keep drugs out of our island and to keep crime down.
Thank you, Senator Johnson. All right, Congressman Nicolás, your thoughts on public safety?
Well, thank you, Destiny. I've been to the FBI office recently, and you go there and you look at the door to the office. They say, call this number to make an appointment. And I actually tried calling the number, and it rang so many times that it eventually forwarded me to some office in the States. And it's just very, very difficult to be able to access federal law enforcement here, and not because they're not doing their job, but because I think they're just so inundated. And so we need to make more investments in making sure that we have the proper federal personnel here to meet the challenges that we're facing here on our island, especially with the drug pandemic here on Guam. The street price for a gram of ice is, I believe, around $35 a gram. And not only does that mean that it's so common throughout our island, but if and when we do begin to climb down on it and that price begins to rise, crime is going to get worse. And so we need to have a multi-level approach that's going to involve more federal personnel and an approach that's going to involve our local government to be able to address these concerns as they begin to intensify. Thank you.
All right, well done. Let's start with vaccination again, because my final topic is, obviously we talked about public safety, we talked about the economy. Tourism kind of interplays with both of those topics. So this final topic, GHRA, much of the leadership of the board is here, has been trying to work with the delegates from the last 2 terms to review federal per diem rates for non-foreign locations overseas, including Guam, Hawaii, and the CNMI. Specifically, Hawaii and the CNMI have received 2 increases in recent years, and the Aloha State for the first time went to seasonal rates, whereas Guam has not had an increase in the lodging rate of $159 since the year 2009. Will you work with GHRA, GVB, and industry stakeholders to make this a priority and ensure there is a full review and analysis of the Per Diem Committee's report that looks at the market's average daily rate data, less than 5%, and that takes into consideration property selection criteria, time frame of data, and seasonality? We'll start with you.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of people that Jason probably did the question, but the reality is, I mean, even with just inflation itself having raised all the costs of things throughout throughout the United States, we need to make sure that we're also making our tourism industry have the appropriate adjustments when it comes to these military rates, these federal rates. And so absolutely, obviously, a yes. We have to make those adjustments happen. Whether the formula is exactly as Jason outlined, or something that we can just be a little more simplistic on, because the more simple we are in approaching the problem, the more likely we are to get a solution. And so if we go to them and we say, hey guys, look, just first and foremost, inflation has gone up by X, rates have stayed at Y, it's time for us to bump that up so we can make sure that these costs are being absorbed by our hotel industry. We can get a quick solution that way and then talk about formulas going forward. Thank you.
All right, well then, Senator Shelton, your thoughts on raising the federal per diem rates. Will you do such as well as analyze the data and the environment they're in?
I love working with these guys, the GHRA, the Guam Visitors Bureau, and as I said, I've enjoyed a good working relationship over the last several years, especially as the tourism chairperson in the Guam legislature. The issue of per diem rates is one that we can work on together. Additionally, I've heard from the GHRA that we have a bottleneck issue here. We have our military friends and our tourists who are visiting competing for the rooms at different rates, and we need better collaboration and coordination so that we can plan these things out together. A military exercise isn't decided overnight. We're able to look ahead at our calendar so that it doesn't coincide with Golden Week. We can all use our occupancy or use the rooms to spread out throughout the year so that we can get the best occupancy here on island.
And Judge Cruz, your thoughts, 60 seconds please, on raising federal per diem rates for non-foreign locations overseas.
Yeah, so the answer is yes, but I think we need to go beyond that. I think what we need to look at is not only how can we use our hotels to basically support the military mission, but how can Guam become a part of the growth in the Asian Pacific region? How can Guam become a hub for conferences that the United States government is starting to hold with Japan and Korea and the Philippines? How can we tap new markets? What we need to do is, as those new markets get tapped, it helps to bring in more visitors to Guam, not just the family visitors, but now we start to get business visitors. Now we start to get people that are going to bring exponentially more economic activity to Guam. We can't always be doing the same things and expecting a different result. We have to reach higher. I want very much to work with the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association to see how do we attract new markets, how do we make sure that the impact of the military is good for the people of Guam and is good for Guam, but beyond that, how do we get to other markets and bring them in to bolster, support, and strengthen our tourism
I'm
industry?
sorry, Judge, that's your time. Well done. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our candidates on both topics. And now, if I may ask you if you would pass these very wonderful paddles down, we'll begin our lightning round. And once again, if you would, it's right there behind the vase or vase? Vase? Okay. Okay, these lightning round questions, Destiny's going to throw some of these out, and kindly just hold the panel indicating your support of or opposition to.
All right, your first lightning round question. Are you in favor of raising the federal minimum wage, yes or no? Raising the federal minimum wage, yes or no?
All right, question number 2. Some national news agencies have reported that the Supreme Court of the United States may reconsider precedent guaranteeing a woman's right to contraceptives. Do you believe a woman should have full and free access to contraceptive care?
All right, next question. Do you support policies that protect and uphold women's reproductive health rights, including access to comprehensive reproductive health care services, contraception, and safe and legal abortion?
All right, next question. Do you support common sense gun control measures to reduce gun violence?
All right, next question. Medicare recipients spend a much larger portion of their income on health care than most younger people. Over the past decade, Medicare Part B premiums alone rose 154%. Will you advocate to keep the program affordable for seniors and those with disabilities in the future?
All right, well done. Once again, a round of applause for our congressional candidates. Now we would like to give each of them 60 seconds to make their final appeal. They've shared some of their thoughts on you on the various topics that our wonderful members of the GHRA and the Guam Women's Chamber have put forth. And now you each have 60 seconds to make a final pitch to the members here, the leadership, as well as the community at large. Watch a moment, the place on why they should consider you. 90 seconds, very much.
Thank you very much, Jason. So, if we continue to do the same thing, and we continue to elect the same people, we're going to continue to get the same results. I believe, with all due respect, that we need to aim higher. I think there's more that we can do. We have an amazing moment in time, but the way that we leverage that is we need to send somebody to Congress who has experience, who spent 12 years working with the federal government, with the Senate, with the House, with the executive branch, who knows how to make things work, and somebody who has the confidence to not just sit at the table on the Foreign Affairs Committee, on the Armed Services Committee, and on Natural Resources, but somebody who can be part of the discussion. Because when you're part of the discussion and you're helping America to understand how it can be stronger in the Asia-Pacific region and where Guam's role is going to be in that, then our issues are actually going to move. We can't be sitting on the side, the unincorporated territory of Guam, waiting for a handout or hoping that some small issue is going to be handled. We deserve a seat at that table, and that is what I want to bring. The women here from the Women's Chamber of Commerce, you know what it's like to be agents for your own change. The Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association, you took a swampland in Tumon and you turned it into a pillar of Guam's economy. What has happened to Guam? Where is our ability to aim higher and be agents for our own change? I love my island. I came home. I want to do this. I want you to put me to work so that I, together with all of you in collaboration, can be an agent for change and we can do more for the future of Guam. Thank you very much.
Senator Mandelson, you have 90 seconds.
Thank you very much, Jace. And to just Masi again, to the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce, and to the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association for hosting us this afternoon. Again, I've been very grateful for your support over the last 6 years as your senator, and I'm ready to do the work for you in Washington, D.C. We've faced many challenges together. I don't have to tell you, COVID, the pandemic, the loss of tourism, a super typhoon in the just a year ago. And we've seen each other through these tough times together. And there are definitely challenges ahead. But I think today we can look at the future with a lot of optimism, a lot of hope, because there are so many opportunities for our island, and we can't risk losing any of these opportunities. And so we need to strategically leverage our military strategic location so that we can get what is due to the people of Guam. And so I ask for your support this election for me to be able to do that work for you in Congress. Suzios Masi.
Thank you, Senator Sessions. Now, let's make this your 9 seconds.
Thanks, Jason, and thank you all again for today. When I first got elected to Congress, I didn't have any of this gray hair. It all came out in those 4 years, and it came out because we did so much, we worked so hard, and we have so much successes to be proud of. You know, we got war claims done, we got EITC done, we got Medicaid improvement done, we got COFA Medicaid done. You know, we got Agent Orange recognition for our vets. We did all that, a lot of it in our first term, more in our second. We passed 2 bills in the course of those 4 years. I'm one of the few congressmen who passed a bill in my freshman term, one of only 6, and that was a war claims bill. I have 2 bills that were signed by both presidents, Republican and Democrat. We know how to get things done in Congress. We want to get things done for the people of Guam. And so as we discuss these issues, whether it's the cost of living, whether it's trying to figure out how major crime gets resolved here and doesn't get any worse, you know, we know what we're doing and we know how to make these things happen. We want to do them for you. We want to make our island better. We want to keep this work going. Public service is something that I just found to be so rewarding, and I'm so blessed to have a family that supports me coming out and putting myself out there. I talked to someone the other day and he said, "Man, Mike, you're a glutton for punishment." And I said, you know, no, I just really love to serve, and I love to make good things happen for Guam. And so if you give us another chance to serve you as your congressman, we're going to make more good things happen for our island and our people. I can guarantee you that we're going to increase that very long list of results, and we're going to have a lot more wins for our people if you give us another chance. I'm humbly asking for your vote. Michael Sniggles, number 1, Democrat. See you soon.
Thank you very much, Jimmy Cruz, Senator Mandelson, and Mike Sniggles.
All right, so as we close out, just some closing remarks. We are committed again to promoting community awareness, voter education, and active participation in the democratic process. We do not endorse or support any political candidates or parties. Our goal is to empower individuals to make informed decisions and exercise their right to vote. The views expressed by individuals and candidates during this forum are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the organization.
And ladies and gentlemen, there will be another similar senatorial forum featuring candidates heading in October as we head towards the general election, and KUM is having a congressional forum on July 3rd, so make sure to check that out for that. So on behalf of the membership, the leadership, the board, the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce, the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association, thank you to the Hyatt, thank you to the Guam Election Commission, to the senatorial candidates, the congressional candidates who have given us some of their time. We hope we've given you something to think about. I'm Jason Salas, and on behalf of Destiny Cruz and the entire KUM cast and crew, Sidus Masi, and get out and vote. All right, good job, everybody. Tremendous work, everyone. Thank you so very much, each and every one of you.